All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Goon Platoon on this Friday, December 20th. Brought to you by Troponin Supplements. We got Big Paul, we got Justin in the house, and want to see what's going on with you guys.
What's up, man? I've been dealing with a freaking finger infection the last week and a half, man. I had I don't know, they haven't been able to identify it, but MRSA. I had to have surgery on my finger, like a chunk of my finger cut out.
Is it wrapped up right now?
Oh yeah, it's all. I can send you some. There's some gnarly pictures up on Instagram if people want to look, but I didn't put the grossest ones where they cut the hole in my hand.
Oh, that's what I've been waiting for. It's the only reason I subscribed.
I'll send you a copy, Justin, so you don't feel left out.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so Justin, with the what we were talking about last time with the drones and stuff, I actually looked into it a lot more, and it was pretty wild. What was going on?
Yeah. I don't. Well, that's what's funny. If you, one of the recent posts I did, the question I thought was on food dyes. I did like you do those videos in large chunks. So you do them dozens at a time, and then they get posted slowly. And so it was apparently Make America Healthy Again, which gets everyone wound up because it's political, And
I noticed the food dyes had been a huge topic of conversation like the last month or so.
But just it's funny because I wanted to say like those drones, like we care so much that we're about who gets elected, that we're willing to ruin friendships and destroy family relationships. But then once they're in office, we don't give a shit what they do. We got drones over the America, and the government just is acting like they don't know what's going on, and we're like, yeah, it's cool, it's the government. What else are you going to do about it? Yeah. It's like but like we'll disown our own family members if we think they might vote for the wrong person, but then when that right person gets in office, we're like, yeah, do whatever the hell you want. I don't care.
I don't know about you guys, but whether or not it's AI or the aliens, I welcome my newfound overlords.
Yes, we are. Yeah. I'm here to be your servant.
Yeah,
Kurt sent me a video. I don't know if I should share this, but anyway, it's out in the wild now. He lives in New Jersey near the Arsenal. What's it, Pickaninny Arsenal? I think it's the name of it. But he lives up there. But he filmed one over his house. It was ginormous, man. He sent me a video of it. I'll have to send it to you guys. It's pretty fucking wild.
Yeah, I want to see the video.
Especially military drones can be pretty damn big, man. Like a small plane,
Yeah, I'll text it to you right now, Justin. It was. It's not like it's any big secret, man. They've been flying everywhere up there. I just find it fascinating. I mean, it's like you gotta think about it. I mean, logically, it's got to be somebody with the resources to put that kind of shit up and the motivation to do so. And the only thing that really makes any sense is so you got to have a ton of money and the technical resources to be able to do it.
Well, it seems to me there's like three most obvious possibilities. With the number there are, option one is that Russia sent out that hypersonic ICBM that we couldn't detect. And kind of in a panic, we needed to do a show of force without doing a show of force, and putting these out there and pretending we don't know about it gives us a period of time to let the whole world know, look at these really advanced things going on. We have this technology. That would be probably the best scenario. Option two would be it's Russia or China doing that, which is super extra bad because the government's acting like they don't know what the hell's going on. Or option three, which would put me as a winner on my bingo card this week, would be aliens.
Yeah,
so hopefully it's that.
Here's the thing with I kind of rule Russia out of it because Ukraine has been kicking Russia's ass with drones. It seems like everything Russia has is from like 1965. Like all their technology is so old and antiquated. I just don't see how they would have any. If they had that level of drones, they would be using it in Ukraine.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm just. Those are just like I don't know what other.
I mean, China or us seems like the most likely.
Yeah, I mean, I
scenarios.
don't know what other of those. I don't know what other option is.
Yeah.
Most obvious because it's either
Elon.
that or it's like some billionaire guy.
Elon.
Yeah, exactly.
He was running his mouth a few weeks ago about how the government should not spend any more money on the the F-25 program. That they should be investing in drones and not in manned
On the F-35.
F-35. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that is a not that I look like I know anything about. I mean it's a weird project because it's so expensive.
I
But
just
the
sent you
F-22
the
smokes
video
it as
he
far
sent
as
me.
what's that?
I just texted you the video he sent me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the F-22 just destroys it as far as technical capabilities. There's other planes that beat it as far as like load carrying capabilities, but I don't think anything beats it as far as expense capabilities.
Yeah, check this drone out. This is the one he filmed over his house. This is pretty fucking wild.
Hang on, let me do my get my old man glasses on.
Yeah, so I don't know. It seems the most likely scenario would be it's either us or China.
Yeah. Okay, here's
your bank account, Social Security.
Oh, you can have that. If you can see, it says this code is active, Paul. It wouldn't let me add that code.
Uh-huh.
I'll look into it. Something's probably maybe it expired.
Yeah, it's pretty large. It's pretty large.
Well, to be fair, John, you think anything over 3 inches is large?
That's what I'm talking about.
Kurt said if he had to estimate, he said it looked like it was like 60 or 70 feet across, something like
crazy.
That big? Holy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, that looks pretty freaking big, dude.
He said you can see it go over the tree line. I mean, that didn't look like any plane I've seen.
Mm-mm. No, that's pretty big. Slightly off topic. Nick asked how prep is going. It's going well, man. We're like, so unfortunately, I have to requalify for the show that I already won the class in. Yeah, so I emailed him and I was like, hey, it was like 12, 13 weeks out. And I was like, hey, am I good? Am I qualified? I got runner up in Toronto, won the Arnold 2 years ago and dismissed overall. And they're like, yeah, you're good. And then I got an email like 5 minutes later and it was like, oh, that's not good. And then they were like, well, are you Canadian? Because I competed in Toronto at the pro qualifier. And I was like, no, I'm American. And they go, well, you're not good. Yeah. So, I thought I'd be good because the Arnold is a world pro qualifier. So was Toronto. Yeah. So I thought I was good, but no. So now I have to do a qualifier in about 8 weeks. And then
now John gets to be that asshole who shows up to a local show just to qualify.
Yeah.
Some dude who put his heart and soul into the show and was going to win his first overall.
Man, I wouldn't even have asked. They don't even check at any of these shows.
The only thing is they did 2 years ago.
Really?
LeMastro was doing it with me. And then they emailed him a week out and said he couldn't do it.
I've never once seen them check at
anything.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Did they take his money?
They gave it back.
Oh, wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is definitely some dudes that showed up that didn't qualify.
Yeah, I mean, I know because I've had clients who've done shows and I found out, that they never qualified them and they're like, I just risked it. I just put a show down.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're going to do well. Going to do well at the qualifier and then ride that momentum into the Arnold and do well. And then
are there any shows that early you can do?
The only one that we found was in Vegas, so we got to go to Vegas.
Yeah, I'm fortunate. It's a real unfortunate situation. We have to go to Las Vegas.
The only crappy thing is, dude. The only crappy thing is, you know how well this went over with the partner, the lady. I said, "Oh yeah, I have to actually qualify now." She's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, and it's on Valentine's Day, so
and it's at a strip club."
So yeah, we'll have to celebrate it before I leave.
Yeah, the show is being held at the Marble Arch on Las Vegas Boulevard.
So really quick, Justin, I don't know, since we did the Nationals one last week, would you be able to pull up on Instagram and showed Devon, possibly my team Instagram, one of our competitors, Devon Parker,
supplement athlete,
Devon Parker, went to nationals his first time, and he beat almost 40 guys. He was a hair away from a pro card. He was third or fourth, and top 2 get pro cards. So that was his second show he's ever done.
I saw it. He looked good, man.
Yeah, and so this is Devon right here. Obviously, conditioning was in point. We were a tiny bit flat in the morning, but just being safe. By the nighttime, he was full and veiny, and so we just played a little safe in the morning.
He looked really good at finals. His legs are impressive. He looked really good at finals.
Yeah,
he's got a nice look. He'll definitely be a pro.
Yeah, for a second show, for sure.
Justin, I sent you a picture of my gnarly finger.
Oh, I'm staring at it. Trying not to masturbate, but
yeah. So Devon did well.
That is gnarly.
Are you talking about Paul's finger?
Both, yeah. I was gonna say both of them. You could make some comment, stick a pencil in between, but yeah, you could put a.
If you put it on, are we gonna get in trouble on YouTube?
Roll it.
Go with it, or
go with it. Fuck it.
All right, everyone's been warned. You're getting good at this screen sharing. Oh, good heavens!
Yeah, it's pretty rough, isn't it?
I was just watching a porn that looked very similar.
Jesus.
That thing goes almost all the way down to the bone, man. It was that's crazy. All that from banging my finger between 2 weights.
Clanging and banging never looked so gnarly.
The crazy thing is like they could never figure out what it was. Like they said nothing came back on the culture.
Someone wiped their butt on a plate, probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've all been there.
Yeah, I just this was 5 different antibiotics or 4 different antibiotics in a week, something like that.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough, man.
What are they got you on, Augmentin or something?
They took me off of that. They Zenolo.
Oh yeah, once you get into Augmentin's about the strongest first or second line defense. Once they go past that, you're getting legit.
Yeah, I don't remember. Hang on, I'll tell you the name of it.
Yeah, once above that, there are actually little worker machines in the antibiotic that go in and attack the bacteria mechanically, I believe.
We got a quick question. It looks like Cole said his estrogen keeps coming back a little bit high. Is it bad to keep using Arimidex to reduce estrogen, or should I just change out my cycle and try to fix it? Well, it depends on what you're doing. Number one, I'll let you guys take this over, but you don't know what you're doing.
Some people are estrogen sensitive. Some people need AIs. I mean, that's not what they were invented for, I guess. But I mean, that's what they're used for. I mean, some people need estrogen management. Everyone's a little bit different. Some people don't. Some people are prolactin sensitive. Some people are E2 sensitive, and a lot of people are.
Usually it's body fat. I've seen the guys that tend to be a higher body fat tend to.
But Chris Cormier, Chris Cormier was always supposedly super estrogen sensitive till he got his glands removed.
Yeah, but wasn't he kind of a fat boy originally?
He was an all-state wrestler.
He was a really good wrestler.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm fat. I've always said
he might have been younger though. I mean, I was a good wrestler and I was a little doughboy.
Usually it's the guys that are doughboys that tend to be the skinny dudes tend not to be estrogen converters. I would, for me, like I think you want to, like the off season, you want to keep it at the top end of the reference range.
What do you like? I like even a little above 40 to 60 even.
Yeah, 40 to 60 I'd say is ideal. Not crash like I was. I was like 6.
Yeah. That's weird though, because I've been around long enough to see the full gamut of what like the global internet decides is good. There was a period of time where everyone just wanted it like rock bottom.
Oh yeah, you remember that like around was it 2005?
Oh man, yeah, and everyone walking around with achy joints, depressed, yeah. But now there's like a heyday of everyone wanting it high.
Well, now it's like dudes want to be an ovulating female. They want to be 300 and think that's optimal because of IGF-1 conversion, and then they're walking around with man
like
boobs
this, like Peggy Bundy.
Oh, the antibiotic, it's linezolid is the one that I'm on. They finally ended me up when I went through the whole gamut of
I
things.
wrestled in a state of panic, to be honest, but it worked for me. No, I was from Michigan, but I was I quit early because to get big for football, which I deeply regretted later on because wrestling was my best sport. And interestingly enough, I found out. For years when YouTube first came out, every time I post a video, these same two people would just bash me to high hell, and and say I was a roid head, and I was a roid head back in high school, which I absolutely wasn't. I didn't start until after I was completely done with college football. But I found out at some point after that it was my high school wrestling coach and his son.
Talking smack online.
Yeah, because they were. I don't know if they were still butthurt that I had stopped wrestling. But this is a decade later, but.
Yeah, I mean, we had that recently with one of our. I'm sure you get this all the time, Paul, with people sneaking in and stuff from your past, trying to say stuff. But we had one recently with an individual who I could see why he's upset because he didn't really get to accomplish much, but he was stalking our videos and commenting some crazy stuff. So we had to get him out of there. So it's just unfortunate how people.
I busted a guy. He'll know who he is. I'm talking about. Like, he was commenting on my stuff, and I saw him that he was cutting and pasting actual texts from his. He had a burner account. And he wasn't even changing the stuff. Yeah, he wasn't even changing the stuff. He was posting from the burner account over and or from his regular account over to the burner account. And I'm like, bro, I know this is you. Because you copy and pasted it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind a good troll. I mean,
no, I like it.
All means,
in
the comment section here, if you got anything good, preferably better than Seth Rogen. Although it's kind of reached the point where it's re-funny again, I guess. But I like a good troll. But some people are just they're not good at it. Even they're not
even good at it.
They're just spiteful. But I'm learning, doing ads for the supplement company, man, people are just filled with hate. Because if you run an ad, because you forget what the forums were like a little bit, because typically the only people who really comment on your posts are your followers. You get pretty favorable comments for the most part.
Yeah.
But if you run an ad, you don't get your followers. Man, some of the things people say, the good ones, if they're clever, I'll keep it up. I'll leave it posted. Like a good troll is a good troll. But some people are just like, I don't even know this fucker, but I hate him and I hope he dies. I hope his whole family dies. Like, Jesus, what did I do? I'm just so selfless.
Well, you know me, Justin.
Actually, I hope he lives and his whole family dies.
I love putting a good post out as troll bait just to mess with people.
Oh yeah, we were commenting on the one. It was
I'll do stuff like I'll deliberately misspell a word or leave a word out and see who catches it.
Yeah,
and then like some of like the people that are super OCD will just lose their shit.
No, your mom still works. She was working late last night.
So Justin, I wanted to ask you. We had I don't know if we can talk about it so much, but there were some, extra stuff going on at your house this week.
People are all over it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm allowed to say. I think they want to target the advertising and the marketing, like when it's time. But but we've been filming for months now a documentary with Generation Iron about entrepreneurs, or about me as an entrepreneur, I guess. I don't know if it was originally intended to be a single feature length film, or they started filming and my rapist wit was so. But we're doing a feature length documentary with Generation Iron for Amazon Prime that will probably culminate at the Arnold. Will be, I think, our last filming, which should be perfect because we have a big 10x30 booth there. John's going to win the amateur, turn pro, and Brandon Curry is going to win the open.
Hopefully. It'll be a good competition.
We got to speak it to existence, and so it'll be a glorious weekend for Troponin Supplements.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Honestly, I really like that show. The only thing about it that was a little off last time was they made us get there at 7. So you're on the pro stage and you're warming up backstage, and they make you get there at 7. So obviously nothing is going on at 7, and then all of a sudden everything starts at 8. And so they were like, okay, you have to have all your tanning, all your pump, like all your stuff done by 8, because they were like yelling at us backstage. This lady was really yelling at us, sort of mean. And she was like, you got to have your stuff now. I was like, oh my, it sounds like a DI. And so we get, everyone's pumped up. Everyone's trying to eat, whatever. We get in line, we get our glaze on. And the super heavies, we didn't go on stage till 10:30. So we waited behind the stage for 2.5 hours. And there was AC blowing on us. So we're all looking at each other back there. We're like,
PC Slater was literally there.
yeah. So we're backstage and we're just like, dude, does anyone else still have a pump? And it was like, no. And we're like, dude, what is happening right now? So I wish they let us stay in the back. Hopefully they do this year. Because yeah, they made us stand out behind the stage for 2.5 hours.
That's
I don't know.
rough.
To try to hold a pump in the gym for an hour is hard, and then do it on no calories and dehydrated.
Yeah, the dehydrated super heavy.
No one had a pump by the time we got on stage, and then they got on us for being a little flat later on. I was like, I'm not sure if you guys thought this one out, but yeah,
It was when I did Masters USA's last year. They lined us up. I was in lineup for almost 3 hours.
So that's what we were. I was just talking about that actually with the Gen Iron guys about how like they need to stat. I mean, I understand they do the final start at this time, and they're not. They kind of do it because they don't want anyone to be late. They don't want anyone to miss and ruin their prep. But when you and that was fine 25 years ago when there was bodybuilding and female bodybuilding, and you could kind of make a pretty accurate prediction. The show starts at this time. I can be a little bit late, but not too late. But now, when shows are 6 hours long, if you're a super and they tell you to be there at 3, you might not be on till 10 at night. But when do you decide to head down? By 5 o'clock, you're already kind of stressing, like texting your buddy at the show, like, "Hey, what class are they on?"
Yeah.
But the shows are just so long now. It would be really nice for the competitors if they were like, these classes show up at this time, these classes get here at this time, and it would make it far less hectic backstage.
Yeah.
I will say this: the Gary Udit shows, North Americans in Masters Nationals, the most organized shows ever.
Gary puts on good shows. He did way back in the old day, even when before he was like a national promoter. Actually, I think he's been a national promoter forever. But
Gary shows are always the best run ones, I think.
They had there was only one issue I think last year he had was they had the Weider Natural Pro Show, the Battle Royale, and the Armed Forces show all in the same weekend, and it was too much. And so my clients were the Natural Pro Show was supposed to go all Friday. Well, it leaked into Saturday. So my guys had prepared to be on stage at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Saturday morning. Well, I had probably 6 clients. They didn't step on stage till 5:30 at night.
Ooh, that's rough.
And so they were having to hold. They were meal prepped and everything, ready for 9 a.m.
I had a guy in that show last year. It got
so
crazy.
that was, I'd say, Gary sort of, but he fixed it this year because they switched the shows completely. They have like each separate weekend for a different show, which was smart because I think they thought they could fit it all in. But I left that show. Now this is a local show. I left that show at 1 a.m.
It's a long local show.
Yeah. It wasn't done till 1 a.m. I was like, you've got to be kidding me right now, man.
Yeah, I had one of my guys that was in there last year. It was really late.
That was
it
tough.
was pretty. When I did Masters USA's, it was super late when we got out of there. It was close to midnight, I think.
Yeah, I mean, at the national level, they're doing a decent job of spreading shows out. Although as a coach, that makes it hard because all through the summer, you got guys competing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then if you got UK clients, it's Sunday, and so your summer months are just ruined because you got guys checking in every couple hours, all peaking, for 4 out of 7 days a week, week after week. But
Yeah.
I mean, for the competitors, it's better at that. At the national levels, they're doing a decent job. But there's just so many divisions, so many competitors. I mean, it's great that the sport has that many people competing. I'm not going to complain about that. But it would be nice if they staggered the check-in times for the finals.
I had 2 guys competing with me in the same show I won my pro card at. I'll never do that again.
I learned my lesson. I did that for junior nationals in 2005. There's 7 competitors, and I looked like absolute garbage. It was impossible to peak for it.
Well, that's why I was watery, man. I was on my feet all day long, walking around helping.
Yeah.
And, although another one of my guys got his pro card too, so it worked out. I enjoy helping people, but yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
If I never get my ass back in the gym, I think I'm going to do the Tampa Pro. I think that's
cool.
plan.
That's a good show.
Did they say that you're not allowed to train with the MRSA?
Yeah, they told me not to until they didn't want to spread anything. And
Go rub that finger back on that plate. When I was, I think, was this on this? Maybe it was a different podcast. When I was a kid, when I was in like 4th grade, I had heard, he gave me his cold. And so I thought you could give someone your cold, like as in you no longer had it anymore. so I was sick walking around school coughing on everyone. And someone was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Trying to give everyone my cold." And they're like, "That's mean." I'm like, "Well, I don't want it anymore."
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Man, there's been some stuff going around. I think you had a little bit, Justin. I had it for like 2 weeks. The last podcast, the video we just put out with the breakfast thing, man, my voice was like shot. So
yeah, my kids and I had it too, man. I was sick for like 2 fucking weeks.
Yeah, it lasted. It wasn't like a quick thing.
I keep losing weight, man. I'm down to I was 240 this morning.
Oh, wow.
The latest I've been in a long time.
Aren't you normally like 270 or something, 275?
260, 270 somewhere in the off season. Yeah, 270. I was on stage at 250. I'm the only guy that loses weight after a show.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to eat with these fucking antibiotics, man. They just trash my stomach.
Yeah, those harsh ones. Yeah, I can only imagine.
It's been a lot of diarrhea.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh my god,
that poop shoot's just like just like a straight path right now.
You know what I was gonna bring up to you guys. Sometimes it's one of those things where you look when you're in a prep or you're doing something. Sometimes you end up like watching weird stuff. Whether you're watching
3 hours of Jay Cutler grocery shopping.
Yeah, like you'll end up watching Jay Cutler in this grocery shop or something. But this past week, I was reminded in my YouTube recommendations about good old Mariusz Pudzianowski and how, we think a lot of us, dude, he was like the motivation for a lot of us to look a certain way, because he was the first strongman / oh, dude, that guy could bodybuild.
Yeah, I have a funny story about him, or not him, but about my mother-in-law. My first ad in the magazines was with Optimum Nutrition, and it was at the same time he was winning World's Strongest Man. Mm-hmm. And I think my wife, showed my mother-in-law a magazine and showed the ad, and they say, "Yeah, this is Justin." Mm-hmm. Well, she was showing all her friends a different ad in the same magazine of Marius for weeks, showing everyone
that it was
my son. Yeah, she never caught on till she must have showed someone when my wife was over, and she's like, "Mom, that is not Justin. It doesn't even really." But I mean, I'm Polish, so I consider that. I guess to the we all look the same from what I hear. I don't know, but
yeah, he does kind of look like you.
Yeah, that's
didn't
funny.
He fight in MMA for a while?
He is still doing it.
Oh, is he
for real?
Yeah, he's actually doing pretty well. He's a little stiff. It looks like but he's beat a lot of guys, including Bob Sapp. Pretty sure.
That dude.
Yeah, a lot of people have done that.
That dude.
Yeah, I think towards the end of Bob Sapp's career, he's just been sort of.
Bob Sapp was big nog and was a stud, and after that, it was all downhill.
Yeah, that was those old Pride days and stuff like that. You just get caught up watching those competitions and the matches. What was no, we can't bring that up because we'll probably get flagged or something. But it was Don Fry and oh my gosh,
Choi.
someone in the comments, and they just punch
The
each other in the
Choi,
face.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I watched that at least once a
Tatsumora?
week.
I
Yeah,
can't remember
that
his
was
name.
Choi, wasn't it?
No, it was Don Fry.
No, it was Don
and
Fry and Katsumura.
Takamara,
Yeah. And they just
Yeah,
punched
Takayama,
each other.
I think that
Takayama.
was in a Pride.
Takayama.
Yeah,
That was in
Takayama.
Pride, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pride. Yeah, absolutely freaking love that fight, man.
Takayama, I don't know that
he.
did he fight again after that? I think he had.
Yeah, he went to UFC after that.
Didn't he have big problems after that? That might have been like one of those. Like,
No,
urban legends.
Takayama went back to professional wrestling, and then he ended up breaking his spine, so he became a paraplegic and ended up dying, I think, because of complications from it. But yeah.
I went to see several of the earlier UFCs, like the late '90s and early 2000s. Like I saw Tank Abbott and Sakurabu and some of those guys fight back then. I'll never forget Sakurabu. You remember that guy? Japanese guy did all the crazy shit.
Yeah.
Couture was there too, Randy, right?
I remember Sakurabu got the shit kicked out of him, and his face was just like looked like meatloaf. And we saw him out at the nightclub later on that night with this. He looked like
good painkiller.
He looked like Sloth from
the Goonies.
From the Goonies, and he was out there and he had like 4 girls hanging on him. It was fantastic.
Yeah, those were wild days. Those were wild days.
I remember I had found out about the UFC somehow and convinced my dad to rent it on pay-per-view, and it was the first. I don't know if it was the first super match. I think it was, but it was with Shamrock and Hoist Gracie, and it was without time limits. And it was 30 minutes of Hoist laying on his back and Ken Shamrock laying on top of him, and neither of them doing anything. And my dad was so pissed that he paid whatever, like $19.99 for it.
Well, that's why they kind of limited the jiu-jitsu in UFC because it was kind of boring. But the original UFC, the Gracies started it to sell Brazilian jiu-jitsu is really what the purpose of it was. That's how it got started. The guy I used to take that used to go to jiu-jitsu, that taught my jiu-jitsu school, he came over with the Gracies when they started it up. And he was there. You see him at ringside with Hoist Gracie and stuff. So it was pretty wild that those guys were there. But originally it was just to sell their Gracie Jiu-Jitsu stuff, and then it took off.
We do have a question really quick. This one from Mike. Justin, if you want to highlight that one. If you guys want to talk about possible complications with EQ. I have a few in my head, but I just want to let you guys take that one.
Everyone hates EQ has run the gamut. In the late 90s, early 2000s, everyone hated EQ because they said it didn't do anything. And then in the early mid 2000s, people liked EQ, but only to raise red blood cells and increase appetite. It still didn't do anything. Then, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, suddenly everyone hated it because it caused terrible anxiety in everyone. When that same product 15 years earlier, no one would touch because they didn't feel anything on it. I loved EQ. Testing EQ was always my go-to before Primo was easy to get.
I started to run it this off season, but then I don't know. I think my estrogen was already crashed.
It is directly hard on the kidneys. It causes ischemia, I believe, somewhere like before or after the glomerular capsule. I don't remember the exact mechanism. It's mild, but it is outside of just the normal mechanisms where like elevated blood pressure can stress the kidneys. It does stress the kidneys.
Yeah, there's some studies that show that it does have some kidney toxicity. So that always gives me pause. And nothing seems, outside of Anadrol, nothing seems to raise my RBC and hematocrit more than EQ does.
I noticed that too in some blood work that the RBC was going up a little bit.
That used to be the only reason people took it. The people would call it like, basically EPO. I never got it. I never got it from that. But
speaking of MMA, it was before they started testing. It was popular with MMA guys because of that. It's probably why they give it to horses, I would imagine, to the
Oh
radio.
God, who was a Dutch? Was he Dutch? He was a heavyweight.
Oh, I know what
sort
you're
of
talking about. Tall guy.
sort of looked Indian.
Oh no, I don't know then.
But he's
The
from, I
guy
think
I'm
he's from
talking
the
about is
Netherlands.
Dutch.
I think he's from the Netherlands. Oh my God, what was his name? He beat Lesnar. And then he was like super jacked up, and then you could tell when he got off when they got
You talking about Carwin?
Huh?
You know what, Carwin?
No.
Who else beat Lesnar between Carwin, Alistair, Overeem? Are you talking about Overeem?
Overeem.
Oberyn, yeah.
Dude, you want to talk about jacked up? Dude?
Yeah, that dude was two different humans from peak to trough.
The moment USADA came in, it was just like, ooh.
Yeah.
But him at his prime, oh my God, dude.
He's
Yeah,
fat
he was
now.
a monster.
I don't know if you've seen him recently. He's fat now.
That's his natural testosterone production ain't what it used to be. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that was wild. I just missed. That's been some of the stuff I've been watching in prep. World's Strongest Man, some MMA stuff, but a lot of World's Strongest Man, and I can never get enough of the Dagestanis and the way that they train.
They're animals.
They and then the guys go train with them. They come back and they're like, they train every day. Like no matter what they do, they're always training. And they said, what was it? I can't remember the guy's name. Abubakar or one of the guys he lost a fight because he was playing Call of Duty or something or PUBG with Mighty Mouse in America, and they would always like play online, and he lost a fight. So Khabib and Islam and stuff went in and destroyed his computer. They were like, yes, brother, we take. Yeah,
they don't mess around. Those guys.
No, that culture.
Savages.
That's a harsh culture. Yeah,
it's tough, man. It's tough.
We could use a little bit of that here. Maybe not full on, but
not wrestling. Not the 5-year-old wrestling with bears part.
No, that part for sure. I'm talking about the weird beards they have.
Oh, dude, those beards are cool, man.
I remember the guy that I took jiu-jitsu from telling stories about Brazil when he was growing up, and that place was a
did he try to feed a bus a carrot?
Well, if you live in the favelas or whatever, it's still brutal over there. It's like kill or be killed.
He'd talk about like in school, like when he was in elementary school, like if you had a beef with somebody, they'd take you out in the schoolyard and the teacher would ref and you box it out. And
that's interesting to me. I don't know if it's just because I grew up in a hillbilly area, but like fights were very regular when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too, man. All the time.
My kids have never seen a fight. I always tell them, like, they think it's hilarious because one of my good friends who I ended up rooming with in college, he played in the majors for 10 years. I played baseball with him in high school, really good friend. The way we became friends was I'm walking I moved to a different town, and where I went from a really small town where the fashion was always a couple years behind.
What's that? One sec. I'll fix that.
Fashion was always a little bit behind. There's no internet, so you didn't get up to date information. Anyways, I walk into this new school with a tie because in the late '80s, wearing a loose tie was kind of cool, and it was right at the tail end of that, and it was no longer cool at this new school. So I'm walking into school on day one, and I come across this kid. First kid I see in the school, he goes, "Hey, fag, why the tie?" So we got in a fight, and we were friends after that. And neither of us got punished. Teachers broke it up. So get to class, get to class. I think we fought again at recess too. But it's wild to me that my kids have never seen a fight in person.
No, mine either. Man, it was like Lord of the fucking Flies where I grew up, man. I got my ass kicked on the regular.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, like even little things like my kids don't know that you get punched in the nose and you get that flush of blood and that taste. Even if you don't get a bloody nose
and smell the blood,
and like my kids have no idea what that even is.
I can't tell you the scraps I got into.
You count them, one of these days, but.
You have a bunch of girls though too.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you have
good point. But I mean, you think they'd see one?
Yeah, I got flogged.
That was how we used to flirt.
Every day at recess, I got flogged for like 2 years straight.
Well, it's bullying too. They've completely eradicated physical bullying. So so much so, like I'll hear my kids will come home and be like, yeah, Sarah was bullying me. And I'm picturing like bullying meant you got like junk, like bullying.
Yeah.
Where's the bruises? What do you
Throw
break?
you in a trash can.
Yeah. And they're like, like she didn't like my Instagram post. I'm like, no, that's not really bullying. I guess, I don't know, maybe the definition shifts over time, but I picture bullying. I picture like getting, sucker punched.
Yeah.
That's why everybody gets butt hurt easily now.
Yeah. I think the threshold for what's considered bullying has just been lowered so much.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, because technically bullying now is like you say something that I don't agree with. That's bullying, which is complete BS.
But you say something that I personally found offensive.
I don't like that. Well,
yeah, I grew up. I'm like you, Justin. I grew up in the redneck ghetto. It was the trailer park, man. Everybody.
Like you and your buddies. I remember everyone had boxing gloves. Because you'd even you'd play fight with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good point, and which is much worse. And I experienced this on my Instagram ads, like I was talking about. I miss the old school bullying.
Yeah, like say it to your face type shit.
Yeah, punch me in the face. I don't want to hear the bad words. I don't want to know about my big nose. God damn it! I can see it in the mirror.
Just punch me. Yeah. It's unfortunate, man. But like Paul said earlier, maybe aliens are coming and they're going to take us all away. And we don't have to worry about it.
They're going to teach us what bullying. Speaking of nose, that was one of the comments too. What does this guy inject GH right into his nose? Like,
I think I got you beat in the big nose department. Everybody's like, they're like, I got the GH nose. And I'm like, no, dude, look at my dad. He's got the fat head just like me. So,
do you guys think GH does? I feel like the acromegaly is like. Haven't they proven that it's like an insane amount that you have to take for a ton of years?
It's vastly overstated.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to have a genetic predisposition for it, and maybe the GH like potentiates it or like exacerbates it. But like,
I mean, it does cause small tissue growth. Yeah. I mean, so I think whether how pronounced it's going to be, but I mean, I used to have a pretty decent nose where it's a full on schnoz now.
I mean, my nose has definitely gotten bigger.
Well, it's gonna get bigger as you get older, anyway.
Yeah. Oh man, and speaking of that, ears too. I am like totally in my old man ear era, and I hate it.
Are they hanging?
They're just they don't stop growing. Everything else, my body's shrinking. They're just expanding.
Dangle. Yeah, I mean that's at the end of the day, it's funny because you see guys in their prime, and I just I spoke with Phil at Nationals, and those guys have taken everything, and it's like he looked normal, and his head wasn't big or anything. He looked fine, and it's almost like when the guys come off a lot of that stuff, they sort of revert back to their normal size.
Well, I mean, the therapeutic dosing of Serostim is 18 units a day, and HIV patients are on that for decades.
Yeah, and you don't see them walk around with size 15 feet.
No, with jacked muscles though, lucky bastards.
You know what? More of it has to be water weight then, I think, because just like your muscle holds water weight, it probably causes your connective tissue to hold more water and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So
I noticed also, I noticed little things that you always read about, like how there's an androgenic look, because I noticed when I see, because I was on TRT from COVID until fairly recently, and I can look back at photos and I do have a much softer face. And I didn't really notice until comparing now to, 6 months ago or a year ago.
You have a softer face now?
No, when I'm on TRT compared to when I'm on more than TRT.
Okay.
Yeah, run some Master on and you'll look like a guy that's been smoking cigarettes at the bar for too long, man.
Yeah.
Run a gram of Master on, a gram of Test for 18 weeks. And
Justin knows, I've every competition I've done, like, my face is getting more and more as I get closer to the show. It gets more and more like skull face looking. The last show, he was like, we were like 6 weeks out, and he was like, "Dude, you look like you're fucking dying. It's perfect." But it was like, I remember our first show. I didn't really look like that at all. I mean, it was lean, but
no, I kept thinking you took like a paper plate and drew eyes and nose on it. It was so perfectly circular.
Justin, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if you just like the fat content or something inside your face. It just doesn't really come back after so many preps and stuff.
Yeah, and especially as you get older. I mean, like the females, like look at Maria Shriver
Yeah,
from
yeah,
youth
yeah.
to age. You know.
You guys have got a guy here that paid for a question.
Oh,
Thoughts on
here we go.
boron?
Boron, more like moron.
More like moron.
No, boron. It does. It's been studied. It pops up over and over and over again. You can find. Oh, I think beef it. Robert Kennedy book from like 1981. They really pushed boron, but I mean, it does something. I don't think it's physiological enough to where you're going to see an improved rate of progress in any area from it. That seems to be what the studies have shown. I mean, the studies show it definitely does something, but is it enough to make a difference? I mean, if you're natural, you're going to try. You know, I tried boron several times back in the old natty days. I never got anything out of it.
I'll tell you this. I don't think it's a
boron horny.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Well, see, I try not to just say that because, like, compared to PEDs, nothing does. But I remember the natty days where I was looking for I was looking to throw money away on anything that might give me a 1/10 of a percentile on something. But yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mario. Appreciate it, Mario.
Thank you,
I
Mario.
didn't mean to call you more. I wasn't calling you a moron. I was calling Boron a moron.
What movie was that from? Was that Waterboy?
No, it was Happy Gilmore. It's like
Happy Gilmore.
It's chlorophyll, more like borophyll,
Borophyll.
right?
They got a second Happy Gilmore coming out. So
thank God.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's
Sorry,
a
sorry,
good one.
I hope it's not just like they're just trying to squeeze money out of it.
Oh,
but,
it's Adam Sandler. He's got the vice grip on it, squeezing every drop out.
Yeah.
That dude's made so much money.
Carl Weathers died though, right?
Yes. Yeah, he died last year.
Man,
Right?
alligator
Last year?
bit my arm off.
Yeah, last year.
They wouldn't let you on the tour. Why? Because you're black? No, alligator bit my arm off. Jesus.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
Hopefully
cool.
that one's good. Have any of y'all seen The Heretic that just came out with Hugh Grant?
No.
Yeah, that was so good, man.
Did you see it, Paul?
Yeah, it was really good.
Was it more of like a thriller?
Yeah, it's like a Hitchcock movie. It's more of a psychological thriller.
Might watch it.
Yeah, it was really good. I saw it in the theater.
Who's in it? It's not Pierce Brosnan. It's someone else.
Hugh Grant.
That's right. Yeah.
He does all romance stuff, so it's like
Yeah, he's the softer version of Pierce Brosnan.
He played a really good creep in that movie.
He's pretty pubescent, Pierce Brosnan.
Hugh Grant's looking old now, though.
Yeah, I mean everyone is, man. Yeah. It's crazy how I think maybe it's because
we all get older.
It's the fact, like with social media, you see people so often, and you're like, oh my God, these people, because you didn't see people that much unless they're like in a movie or something. So people could like age, and like you would still see them as their younger self. But now you're always going to see at every stage of life, even if they want to disappear, there's still paparazzi and stuff. Yeah. And so you're like, oh my God, I didn't know this person could go old. Like Brad Pitt, what is Brad Pitt, like 60?
Dude's still pulling it off though. I mean, I'm not gay, but for Brad Pitt, I would make a strong consideration.
But he looks great.
How many units of GH do you think Brad's running?
Jennifer Aniston's running a lot. I can tell you that. Look at her hands.
Really?
Well, yeah. She looks
you gotta pull a photo up. You gotta pull a photo
up. I don't know, I gotta sleep tonight.
What's wrong with Jennifer Aniston's hands?
See, I totally get what you're saying about people who can like just suddenly get old, but also do you notice as you get older people look less old to you because you're closer to their age? Yeah, I've noticed that. Like when I was 20, for example, I look at a 40-year-old and I think, man, they're old. They're so old. And now I look at them and I'm like, oh, they just look normal. Like it's like
going back to college. You go back to a college and you're like, oh man, we were grown up in college. You go back, you're like, these are high schoolers.
Yeah, dude, I pulled up with my Camaro Z28 and my jean jacket last week to the local college, and I felt old.
What is it? I keep getting older. They keep staying the same age.
Yeah, I guess I can't find one of her hands. I'll try to
What
do.
was wrong with Jennifer Aniston's hands?
Jesus Christ, dude! I'm not. Don't you might still like it? I'm just saying they got GHE. Hang on.
She's got big hands now, like tough
Like
hands.
do you mean like the knuckles got protruding?
Just
like,
that. This in general. There's just
a bunch of pictures of Jennifer Aniston. Oh, look at that hand. There's her hand right there. Oh
Where?
yeah. Well, hold on. Zoom in on that.
Which one? That one?
The one you got.
Zoom in on it. There's 600 photos on the page.
the big one, dude.
How do I zoom in on it? I don't
know. Control something Z. I don't know.
Control plus will zoom in.
Oh man, I'm on a Mac. I don't got control.
Oh, on a Mac, Command plus.
All right, thank you. It's rescaling.
Yeah, so if you stay over the picture and you just hit Command plus, it should increase magnification.
It's like
that's all I got. It's as far as they'll let me go.
It's like Flex Lewis's hands. You ever seen those?
Dude, I'm gonna be really upset now.
Oh, she looks rough here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, look at that. There's some.
Click on that.
Huh?
Oh yeah. You know who also has aged pretty well? I say it, but like Cameron Diaz, she was like a super crush when I was a kid.
Yeah, but she's pretty old.
Well, they're old. Jennifer Aniston's like 60.
Yeah, she looks 70.
Yeah.
She looks
okay. Friends.
She's okay.
I just sent you a link on Instagram, Justin, of Flex Lewis's hands. Look, he's got like Wreck-It Ralph hands.
Oh man, yeah. Let me get on there.
You know who looked good though? Jennifer Garner. She looked good when she was younger.
Yeah, I mean,
she still does, doesn't she? Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, I think she's.
I remember that photo.
Oh, is this Flex's hands?
Yeah, let me get
wow,
to
Flex and Phil.
Oh, this is a young Flex, yeah.
His hands look like meat cleavers.
Well, his elbow joint too.
Yeah, those are pretty. That's a pretty full forearm and hand and everything.
I'll say this: I'm betting you he's not taking 4 units of GH.
No,
no. No, I want to see him do that fit your whole hand in your mouth challenge.
Danny said, "What about Sophia? She's still good. Yeah, she aged the best. She probably aged really well." Yeah.
How do I plus or control my? Okay, good. I was on the wrong screen. My StreamYard is like zoomed in on John's face right now.
So, well, Justin doesn't have small hands either. Justin, put your hand up. The first time I met Justin, he was full like.
Oh, when I'm bloated, they're big, yeah.
Yeah, and I shook his hand, and I was like, "Oh my God, he builds fence posts with these hands, like just straight up working on the farm." Put your hand up, Justin. Show the people.
Well,
look at that! Look at that monster mitt, dude.
Yeah,
thick.
I got some big ass hands too.
Yeah, I got short fingers. That's the problem.
They're thick. They're like Polish hands. I guess.
My hands are big, but they're real bony now. After I came off all the GH, like they're all like you can see, like
you got like sort of normal fingers.
Yeah, but they're just longer. Like
that's another thing. My ring fits differently when I'm on GH big time.
It's all the water.
You almost need a whole different size. What's that?
Get one of the rubber rings that you can just wear while you're on.
I can't. They only go up to like size 14 or something.
What the hell size are you?
16.
Oh my God. Shit! All right, your hands are bigger than mine. I wear.
Yeah, Justin's got huge hands. George Cooper's in the chat. He said, "On the topic of GH, do y'all drop the dose when cruising or keep it the same?"
Yeah,
it depends on what the dose is, really.
Yeah, that's true.
I usually run 5 when I'm cruising.
Yeah, especially if you're. I take it if you're cruising.
George is a client. He's an uber freak. George is going to be 300 pounds on stage in a year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, George, if it's off season, you're eating more. You probably can't handle like a super high dose of GH. You're probably gonna get the side effects more with the carpal tunnel and stuff. So, Justin, what do we say? Just run as much as you're able to run.
Pretty much.
What's
that's my secret power. I've never got carpal tunnel from it.
Oh wow!
What's the run as much as you can?
Role too. Like if you're just running a bunch of generics with like no kind of nothing to combat the water retention, maybe you can't run as much. If you're using like pharma you might be able to.
Man, I looked up George's profile. He's moving some weight around.
George, what are you repping on incline? Like 180s for 10?
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
he just did his check-in today. Every time I look at his numbers and I'm like, this motherfucker's lying to me. But I know he's not.
I want to lift with George.
Holy shit, man. He's got 405 on front presses.
Yeah, dude, he's crazy strong.
Fuck.
I just pulled his page up now. This dude is a meat titan.
Yeah, look at him like 18 months ago.
Shout out Brendan in the chat, Brendan Curry. Brendan actually is he's a good friend. He's down here in Virginia Beach. You know, I don't want to talk too much about his situation, but he just went through sort of a health scare where he had an issue. Brendan, am I allowed to talk a little bit about it? Say yes or no in the chat.
Blink twice if we can.
Bark twice if you're Milwaukee. Yeah, Brendan, let me know if I'm allowed to talk. Okay, so Brendan is in the Navy, and he was on deployment on a carrier. And he was, I believe he was working out. If not, he started feeling a little tingle in his chest. Didn't really think much of it. Went to go eat, went to do all his normal stuff. I'm sure formations or whatever he had to do. And 7 hours later, he decides to go, you know, to the medical bay and stuff and see what's going on. He started feeling sort of crappy, right? And they run blood work and all this stuff, and they come back and they say, hey, you know, are you okay? And he goes, yeah, I'm fine. Like, what are you talking about? Well, Brendan had a full-blown massive heart attack. And so they fly him out to Norway, and he had 3 arteries. I'm not sure which ones. And he had to get stents in 3 of them. And so his, I guess it would be, Justin, what do we, fraction level? How do you say, like, the percentage of the heart? Ejection fraction level?
Yeah.
And so he was at, I believe, 27%.
Right.
And then he's up to about 40. He's getting better and better and better.
For reference, so like 55 is normal.
Yeah, so
100% isn't normal. People always hear that.
That's got me worried because I occasionally I feel like it's almost like a slight electric shock feeling.
His was what he described to me is 7 hours of that on his chest.
Oh fuck that! Yeah,
like
that's not
did
normal.
not go away. Yeah.
So it's just like
I guess why we're talking about it as a public service announcement, because people always get this wrong. They think a heart attack. We used to always hear in cardiology where people come in, they say, you know, I get this pain like when I kind of exert myself, but when I rest, it goes away. So I figured I was fine. It's the opposite. The way a heart attack works is at rest, you're fine. When the heart needs more blood flow and it can't get that extra blood flow, that's when it hurts. And when you rest, the blood flow requirement goes down and it stops hurting again. So countless people have died because they think that's not a problem. They're waiting for a permanent pain or a constant pain. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's if you go out in the cold, you shovel the driveway, you do a workout, you climb stairs. If you're sitting around and you're fine and you exert yourself and then there's not a pain, it can be like a heavy feeling or your jaw is numb or your arm feels weak. And it goes away when you rest again. Those are the symptoms of a heart attack.
Yeah, and so, you know, he's you know, he's pretty much, I don't even know if he's on TRT. I think he's off everything now. Just sort of going the natty route for a little bit, getting his heart back up to normal. And what's crazy is it's funny when you look at it because he's had those issues for so long. He was so used to it, thought it was normal. And so now he's like, dude, I feel amazing, you know, and it's like he just had 3 stents put and stuff. So obviously he's gonna feel better. But yeah, shout out to Brendan. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys ever have like Brendan had, which was tingle, he didn't have any issues with his arms, no numbness anywhere, but he had a lot of tingling in his chest and he felt off. If you guys feel that and whatnot, make sure you go get checked out. It's definitely not worth trying to tough it out.
Heaviness, tingling in your jaw. If it's a sharp pain, it's usually in your back, but it's almost never what people like what Hollywood shows as a heart attack, where you're like, oh, out and sweating, and you're just standing you're in the middle of teaching a lecture or something like that, doing nothing, and so that's almost never what a heart attack is.
Yeah.
This is actually my cousin, as you can see. He's younger than me, but the Golden Girls. But what's crazier? You remember Wilford Brimley?
Diabetes.
He is like my age in all those 80s movies.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why have people aged differently? Is it hairstyle and stuff?
That's what they say. Well, the dudes don't have different hairstyles. I mean, I guess we don't have the Wilford Brimley mustache, but I don't know. People just lived hard lives back in the day. Cigarettes and beer.
And margarine.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't. That's interesting. I don't know. Well, was there anything else you guys wanted to touch base before we start to wrap this one up?
Oh, sorry. Dream car. No, Nick had to pop off. No, that's I didn't have anything.
What's your dream car?
My dream car? I don't know. I don't really have one. I mean, I've got lots of cars I'd like to own, but I don't have a specific dream car. When I was a kid, of course, it was a Lamborghini Countach. My Trapper Keeper had a picture of one on it, but
Trapper Keeper.
Dude, you can get Countaches for like $80,000 now. They're only worth it for
like kit. Don't they make like kit cars that sort of look like that, or no?
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, well, we are coming to the end of this one, guys. I just want to give once again, guys, big shout out. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in. Thank you for everyone who will tune in. You guys are absolutely awesome for supporting Troponin, supporting all of us individually, supporting Troponin supplements. Remember, we are going to have a freaking 30-foot booth at the Arnold in 2025. So please make sure you stop by, come hang out, come check it out, shoot the ish with us. And hopefully this helped you guys Friday. I don't know if you guys want to plug anything.
Yeah, please like, subscribe, or whatever all that stuff is. The subscriber especially, so we get better algorithmic engagement.
Do it for the algorithm, bro.
Yeah. And then thank you again for buying the supplements. Couldn't thank you guys enough. Supplement company's really doing well. We're in a good place. I can't thank you enough for that. Because I don't know how to market. I'm not a promoter. And so we put all our focus into actually trying to make good products and sticking to products that don't work outside their label claim. We're not trying to pretend that we're putting steroids out there. We're putting products out there that work in the scheme of what they're meant to work. So I really appreciate everyone buying them.
And I have more shots of the hole in my finger on my OnlyFans page. If anybody's interested.
Yeah, I don't want to even go with what's the size of that hole in OnlyFans, but all right. On that note, everyone go eat dinner.
Later.
Right, see you guys.
Bye, guys.